tragedy strikes, accidents happen. Be there when the calls come in. It's back-to-back episodes of Rescue 911. Next on Discovery Health Channel.
This is 911. Do you have an emergency?
Today on Rescue 911. On Rescue 911, an afternoon diving adventure turns into an aquatic nightmare when several divers become lost in an underwater cave.
Our flippers had stirred up everything that was behind us. I couldn't find the cave walls.
Emergency diving teams have only a few precious minutes to reach them before they run out of air.
As long as we had bubbles, we knew there were divers alive. The bubbles had stopped.
Don't miss the next Rescue 911.
We begin on May 19th, 1990, at a campground just outside Gainesville, Florida, as an afternoon's adventure turned to tragedy.
Pretty big down inside?
Yeah, that's what I understand. There were 4 other divers plus myself. We were all certified divers going out to have a good time.
Instructor Jackie Galvin, along with 4 friends and former students, had driven to a remote campground to go scuba diving in a freshwater spring.
Spring hopping is when you go out and you're just going to see what the basic springs around here have for the diver. We were looking for just a general shallow spring that's fairly well open. We wanted to see a bubbling spring.
Lead the way, Jack.
Each diver has their own reason to be there. Mine is just to get away from it all.
Dan Enfinger had made 53 dives in the 5 months since he'd been certified.
Each place that I go to, I'm looking for something new. And I really didn't know what to expect. I just wanted to see what was there.
The spring was fed by a system of caves and tunnels which lay more than 40 feet below the surface.
The crevice is the first part that we went into. Straight down, because it's so shallow all the way around. It was a little tight, but not bad. At the bottom of the crevice, there's a line of rock on one side, and there's a cavern opening on the other side.
One of the things that you're always told when you're an open water diver is never to penetrate caves.
None of the 5 divers had the specialized training or equipment needed for cave diving.
I could see that it went back a little ways, and I wanted to just look inside the entrance and just see what was there.
I noticed that Dan was looking at the cave entrance, and I just shook my head no. He gave me the okay sign, and everybody else looked like they were doing fine. I pointed to my gauge and up. Just before I broke the surface, I turned around to look, and nobody else followed me. I knew they were going into the cave, and there was nothing I could do about it.
When we continue.
I was so scared for them, knowing what was there.
I turned to Dan, and we just kind of looked at each other. The bubbles had stopped.
Next on Discovery Health Channel. 911. It's the call that saves lives. True stories that one day could help you in an emergency. Rescue 911, coming up next, only on Discovery Health Channel.
This Thursday, for 3 compelling hours, see the astonishing stories of skin-deep changes transforming lives. They dreamed of feeling accepted,
I just want to look like a normal person.
of feeling whole again.
We just kind of held on to the thought that they can fix this.
Bodies reshape, dreams come true.
I look at myself in the mirror and say, go girl.
It's a plastic surgery before and after special. Thursday starting at 8, only on Discovery Health Channel.
Once I entered the cave, I knew I was going to catch hell from Jackie when we came back out. But knowing that you went one direction, all you got to do is turn around and go back. There was really no alarm at that point. Everybody seemed to be having a good time.
I was quite mad at that point. I've told people over and over and over, there's nothing in there to see except dark. There were a lot of bubbles coming up, so I didn't have any real concern that they were out of air or anything. I figured they'd be right back out.
You find yourself going deeper and deeper in and seeing what's next. Chris was leading, showing around different crevices and things. I stopped to look at my gauge and looked up, and there were no divers. Our flippers had stirred up everything that was behind us. A cloud came over all of me. I couldn't find the cave walls. Out of nowhere, there's light up in the ceiling, and it got brighter and clearer. I just thought maybe I was heading for heaven when I realized I just come out of the cave, and out of sheer luck, I'm alive. When I hit the surface, I thought I was the last one coming out.
Dan, you're the first one.
When she said that everybody was still down, I was so scared for them, knowing what was there.
I considered going back down into the spring. However, I had a very low-filled tank. I didn't have a light, I didn't have a line, and that's all standard cave diving equipment.
It's just too silty down there. I can't even see the entrance.
At the nearby campground, Bob Weeks was at a Continental Water Company picnic with his family.
I noticed there were 2 divers there. They looked concerned.
You got divers down?
Yeah, there is.
He asked me if I was cave certified, and I said no. He asked me if the others were cave certified, and I said no. And he said, I'll be right back.
A friend of mine, Woody Jasper, was at the picnic already, and he's one of the best cave divers in the nation.
Woody, who has made more than 570 cave dives, just happened to work for the company that was having the picnic there that day.
I immediately left and went down to the water feeling anger that this senseless tragedy was going to unfold itself again. It's deceptively easy to swim into the cave, and they simply don't appreciate the risk they're putting themselves in when they cross that barrier of darkness.
You got 3 divers over there?
Yes, I do. They're right down here in the water.
My presumptions were very much that they were in desperate trouble.
Please hurry.
I carry all my gear with me, but in cave diving, the chances of actually bringing off a rescue are almost non-existent. The reason is because there's just not any time.
The 3 trapped divers had only enough air to last an hour at most, and under stress, air is used up much more rapidly.
As long as we had bubbles, we knew there were divers alive. I'm going, please hurry, please hurry, please hurry.
The time had been closing on an hour since they had gone down. And even though the cave, in relative terms, is fairly shallow, that's still an awfully long time for open water divers to be down on a single tank.
I turned to Dan, and we just kind of looked at each other. The bubbles had stopped.
Some people said, well, what's the use? They've been down too long. But we had a chance, and Woody knew he had that chance. That's why he went down.
Over the past 11 years, Woody had made 4 previous cave recoveries, but had never brought a diver out of a cave alive. When we continue,
I had a strong feeling that if the mask and snorkel were there on the bottom, at least a body, if not bodies, were going to be directly overhead on the ceiling.
One place, Discovery Health Channel. Real life, medicine, miracles. A man emerges from a 19-year coma. We were shocked. An unexplained illness attacks a woman's body.
I thought she was going to die right then and there.
A boy's face is being eaten by a tumor.
He has the largest tumors that I've ever seen.
How could this happen? Will they ever find a cure? Find out as the Discovery Health Channel investigates medicine's most baffling cases. Watch The Best of Medical Mysteries all night beginning at 4 p.m. Sunday on Discovery Health Channel.
Next, step inside the command center where the calls for help are answered and meet the real-life heroes who save lives. Stay tuned for another episode of Rescue 911. Next on Discovery Health Channel. Real life, medicine, miracles.
Mr. Shapiro, step out of the car, please.